This meeting is being recorded.
As we go You know that we are recording. Please sign in and register at the table. You should be able to use the QR code and scan that to register your attendance. And we will be recording. You see Mr. Owl in the front right there. He is recording all of this today, and it will be on our YouTube channel. But just know that you are being recorded today. So let's start with our Best Start AV values. Okay. We are building our collaboration to support flourishing communities here in the Antelope Valley. Our objective is to use compassion, respect, communication, integrity, and acceptance. So these are our core values at Best Start, and we want to welcome everyone for coming today and being a part of this initiative. Today our agenda is as follows. We're going to have an overview of our last meeting, which was in October. Then we're going to be going over our recent efforts. We've been building some things. Things have been happening. We're not just meeting, but we are doing some things in the community. We're going to actually address our first 5 LA strategic planning, our new focus. So that's going to be exciting. We have some new things we must share with the partnership. We're also going to have a time to go over our community change agenda update and our initiatives. We have our CCA projects that are up and moving. We are excited. You all are awesome. Then we're going to go over some Best Start learning opportunities and community announcements. When you come to the conclusion of this meeting, our main objective is we want you to have some takeaways. Our main takeaways, look at your table around. Make a friend. Smile at somebody. Don't look like you're sucking on percent. Smile at somebody. Tell them your name. Celebrate our accomplishments, right? Understand the progress of each community change agenda project. We must understand that. So you're going to walk away with understanding, oh, this is what we're doing. And also develop a strong understanding of our new focus areas and the purpose behind the transition. So when we finish today, you're going to walk away, oh, I get what they're going. I know what they're doing. So I'm going to ask Ms. Cass, come on up here, and she's going to go through our meeting agreement. Thank you. I caught her with her mouth open. Oh my gosh, that's okay. Come on, you got it.
Meeting agreement. Fact 12. Stay present and engaged and on topic. Put the focus on the future. Be authentic. Be yourself. One person speaks at a time. Agree to disagree respectfully. Finish your sentence, not your paragraph. Step up, step back. Exercise confidentiality when necessary. Be patient and open to the technology. Assume positive intentions. A rainy day will make flowers. Separate person from the role. Be creative and have fun. Have fun, everyone.
Give us 1 second. We're doing some technical. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to keep going. Let us finish the technical. Keep back to Mr. Owl. He was talking, I know, right? Smile. Smile, you organic camera. Okay. Maybe the space our technical. All right, we are back. That's when you get started. If you can hear my voice, clap once. If you can hear me real good, clap 2 times. All right, we are back. I'm glad you had a second to meet somebody at your table. So this is just a brief overview where we come from, what we have been doing. In the month of October, we had a chance to really go over our change engagement projects. We really honed in on what we are focusing on with our projects. We did have a presentation by Adam Sandler on the proposed bills that were going to our state governor and what was on the table concerning families, especially families with children 0 to 5. So Adam brought in some of the proposed bills that went to Governor Newsom's desk. We did some updates about joining a community meeting, joining one of our committees. That's still on the table. We'll be visiting that as well. And we also review what learning opportunities were coming up for the month of November and December. So as we continue forward, building together our recent efforts, we have had a lot of things happening. Many of you know because you've been there participating. So one of the main things that we had going on was our Playgroup Academy level 2. And one of our community parents who has become involved, Ms. Cassandra Salazar, you will see her in the upper left corner. She was the community facilitator. She was the parent facilitator. So she was able to come develop her skills. She did the skills in presenting, facilitating this learning experience. We were at Play Amazing, and it was awesome. We had 5 learning sessions, and parents from all over the community came and participated in our Best Start group. We will continue with this, but in a different facet moving forward. But this is what was on from July all the way to November. The next thing we had going on was our nurturing, here we go, our nurturing family, our nurturing relationship. So one of our other community partners, Ms. Cotty is the facilitator for this. She started and she will continue on. We have the first one on the 4th of December. We'll have another one moving forward in January, February, March. But the nurturing is relationships with families with young children or expecting. You're invited to connect, play, and learn together. During these session series, we'll share ideas to build strong relationships at home while joining families in the community and driving positive changes together. And we are excited on what our community partners and families are doing. Next, we have our Universal Pre-Kindergarten Parent Info Session. Ladies, raise your hands. You did an awesome job. Raise your, don't be shy. Yes. So this is where we had families come together and they got information about choices parents have when it comes to their child's early childhood education. The ladies, it was an education session. We had it in English and Spanish, and the families, regardless of their income, came together and to register and learn about what to expect, what kind of questions you should ask, what things you do need to know. And it was really an informative learning session. Next, we had our child care provider paint and sip. And I'm going to have Lizette come up. This was awesome. They had a paint and sip. Now, they didn't have any alcohol. I saw some of y'all like, what's paint? It wasn't that kind of sip. It was paint, but it wasn't that kind of sip. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. So yes, as she was saying, we had the sip and paint, and it was done on a Saturday to accommodate our child care providers. We were able to bring in 13 of them that were able to connect with Best Start, share amongst each other, and we're able to have a little bit of a fun time, some time for themselves. We did have sip, but the sip was juice, tea, and coffee. And they were able to enjoy themselves, create little finds for their doors and be able to take that home. A very good time for them to be able to come in. That's what Thank you.
You, Lizette.
Did they happen to fill out the data survey? Did they happen to fill out the data survey at that meeting? Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes, they did fill out the data. Yes,
Exactly.
yes, you did. You did. Okay, next we had our November food drive campaign where we were able, in fact, Stephanie, you want to talk about this and you and participated in a food drive?
Hi, good morning. So, this year, our sister programs and ourselves did a November food drive. We collaborated with different stakeholders we're in partnership with in the AV to be able to feed 20 families this holiday season. So, as you can see, these are the photos. And yeah, that's what this event and we did past November.
When we go to 20 best, our overall is about 100.
Overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on back.
Okay, I'm back. So just wanted to share, ABPH has been in 49 community events since our last partnership meeting. We've been 13 of those events I've attended, tabling, sharing Best Start program or the flyers and what we have going on. We were able to display the flyers at WIC, Wesley, and BART's lobbies. And we did a presentation in the Lake May area, which out there, a lot of them haven't heard of Best Start and haven't heard of ABPH, have not heard of All for Kids. So it was very needed out there. And these are some of the things that we are doing just to, bring in more community members to share these wonderful things that Best Start has for them.
Thank you. Thank you. We are out there. People are finding out more about our resources as we communicate with our community. And it's good to see your faces because when the Lizette goes out, we have our welcome committee that goes with her. So it's our partners, it's you all, it's the families, it's the parents that they see as well. All right. So now as we transition, we're going to go to Ms. Stephanie, who's going to go over our first 5LA strategic plan.
Hi everyone again.
Yes.
So as we all know, the ending of last year, beginning of this year, we did introduce First 5LA's new strategic plan. With that plan, their vision is to find a future where every child is born healthy and thrives in a nurturing, safe, loving community. So that's their overall mission, their vision for their new strategic plan. As you guys see here, we are showing 2 out of the 3 goals in that strategic plan. The first ones being children prenatal to age 5 and their families have their basic needs met. And then goal 3 of the strategic plan is children prenatal to age 5 have a solid foundation for well-being, lifelong learning success. So with that being said, you guys will see like the objectives for goal 1. Another way to think about objectives is the purpose of this goal. So what is the purpose of this goal? And with that being said, it's to reduce poverty and housing insecurity. And then the goal 3 for the news, the goal 3 from the strategic plan, that objective is to increase access to early childcare and education, early intervention services, as well as cultural affirming services. So as you guys see this, we all know that goal 3, we have been working on this past year. We've been working on, with the community change agenda, those updates that you guys have been receiving in partnership meeting. So what we want to do now is not forget about that work or, say that it's not important. We want to now expand our focus and evolve the work. And with that being said, that we want to start focusing on goal 1. We want to see in the next upcoming year, how can we reduce poverty and housing insecurity here in the AV for families with children 0 to 5. So, and how are we going to achieve this? Definitely more policy efforts at a state and a local and federal level, either by creating a new laws or supporting those that are already out there and are those who are focusing on these two areas, as well as data. Data is also important. The data that, oh, Laura, yeah, you go, girl. You advocate data. The data is very important too. We need the data to share the story of the AV, of what's happening within poverty, within housing, in the Antelope Valley. So that's another way that we're going to achieve this, as well as continue growing our partnership. We have amazing partners already, but now we want to go and tap into those who are already doing this work. Because we're not here to wanting to reinvent the wheel, but really collab and partner with those who are focused on poverty alleviation, housing, and security. And the last one is obviously with you guys. We cannot achieve anything without you guys, the partnership, the community, and really to build that collective voice so we can make that system change, that systematic change that's really causing housing insecurity and poverty alleviation. So I don't want to blabber on and make it more, like, oh my God, because it's not nothing stressful. We want to make it very like smooth transition. And like I said, we do not want to like forget about all the work that we've been doing because it's been amazing work. And we're going to continue that work. We're just expanding more work with since a lot of the community change agendas are kind of wrapping up already with poverty and housing. So I am going to move on to the next slide, which is going to give you like a basic definition of what is housing insecurity and what is poverty alleviation. But before I move on, I do want to ask, does anybody have any questions regarding the two goals? Yes.
So, before we move on to just housing and poverty and needs, I want to know, everybody taking their survey for the Children's Assessment 2030. From SWB Linktree, it says needs assessment. I hope all of you would take it. We need your information. See if you send it to everybody's relative provider. That's the data. That's going to be the funding. This year's going to be about needs. The following, hopefully, it'll be about childcare again. But we need to know what you guys need. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Laura. Any other questions? If not, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. And I also want to mention that the First 5 LA, for those who are new today or probably are not familiar with who's First 5 LA, those are our funders for Best Start IV, our initiative. So that those they are the ones allowing us to do this work that's helping us, achieve what we wanted to achieve. With that being said, again, the definition for housing insecurity. Housing insecurity means not having stable, safe, or affordable housing and worrying about where you can live. So again, for a child 0 to 5, we know that that is crucial time for their brain development. If they're not having a stable home, how are we expecting them to have a successful life, when they get older? Poverty alleviation, providing families with resources, support, and opportunities they need to meet basic needs and build a more stable, thriving future. So again, I just wanted to introduce those two terms to you guys, so you guys are familiar that when next year starts, that we will be seeing more of housing insecurity, poverty alleviation, and doing more work on this. With the way that I told you how we're going to do policy efforts, data, more partnerships, and then informing you guys more about these topics so we could have that collective voice as a community. Now I'm going to pass it on to David. As we mentioned, data is important. So David is going to try to show you guys what data is collected already and why these two topics are very important in the Antelope Valley. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you. I appreciate your explanation of this. Yeah, so just like Stephanie said, I think, a lot of work has been done within the early learning priorities that we've had within the Antelope Valley. And right now, as First 5 LA addresses, established plans until I think 2029, we're focusing on, reprioritizing, and poverty alleviation and housing insecurity are definitely one of those immediate needs that we've identified with our families. So right now, I wanted to go over some data that goes over that kind of lets us know, gives us a baseline of where we're at right now within the AV. To give you guys kind of a precursor, this data comes from the latest 2024 ACS 1-year survey. So if those who aren't familiar with that, everybody's familiar with the census that happens every 10 years. ACS surveys happen in between that time to still provide communities with updates on their data, the relevant data. So I wanted to go over the first part in which we have data regarding young children, and we have data with those who are under the age of 5. The first piece of data that I wanted to share with you all was that, we kind of shared, we split it between Lancaster and Palmdale. It's harder to get data for surrounding areas, like LA, Roseman, Little Rock. But the main, I guess, the central population hubs of the AV we've identified as Lancaster and Palmdale, so we've anchored our data there. But the first piece of data is that in Lancaster, we've identified that 1 in 4 families with a child under 5 lives in poverty. And how do we define poverty? That is the federal definition. So a family of 4 earning less than $30,000 in income. So 25%, 1 in 4 of our families are not meeting that income threshold. In Palmdale, that number goes to 1 in 6 with a child under the age of 5. And then on top of that, I think when we cross-tabulated that data with, populations, there was a very alarming statistic that came about. And that was in that poverty sharply increased when the household is female-headed, meaning that, the family is headed by a single mother. And so that data looks like now 54.8% of single moms with children under 5 in Lancaster live in poverty, and 40.3% of single moms with children under 5 live in poverty. So that is a very alarming statistic, especially since, if you know a single mom, there's a 1 in 2 chance that, she's living in poverty and she's not meeting basic needs for their child. So I also wanted to share other data points with you guys about about poverty. The first one is in regards to food insecurity. 24% of Lancaster households receive SNAP, and 28.9% of households receive SNAP. I don't know if you guys remember the dark days that happened not that long ago with the government shutdown, but when we talked to our food network, our food bank partners, and the Antelope Valley Food Network, it created a crisis because there was a lot of families now with the cutting of SNAP in that time with federal freezing that caused them to be just overwhelmed. It wasn't that they had food left over at the end that maybe the staff could share, or maybe it could go into a next, food bank. Food is running out. And so that's data, that's stories that our partners are telling us that there's, happening within the Antelope Valley, is that food insecurity is prevalent. So, when we have, essentially a quarter of our families relying on that, we need to have better safeguards in regards to this, and better, a better system in place for having those basic needs met. We have, for single mothers that receive SNAP, 41%, and in Palmdale, it's 50%. So again, alarming numbers that go in tandem with our previous data point. The next point is that I wanted to share with you was that 19% of Palmdale families with children under 18 live in poverty. As we saw, those with children under 5 are at a higher, economic vulnerability. But in terms of just children under the age of 18, it's 19% in Palmdale and 21% in Lancaster. And then the next point I wanted to share is that more than 1 in 3 residents in Lancaster and Palmdale, so within the Antelope Valley area, within SPA 1, they live below 200% of the federal poverty level. So, I mentioned 100% was 30K. 60K is 200% of the federal poverty level. And that, under the federal government, is still designated as a very economically vulnerable income. So 1 in 3 residents are living in a state, or 1 in 3 residents are living in an economic state of vulnerability. So the last one that I wanted to share was children whose parents don't have secure employment. So with that being said, this data comes from a little bit older of a source. So this is 2023 ACS data. But still, it's still relevant, and it still speaks to the data points that we've had, and it kind of goes in line. In that Lancaster, 39% of children, those under the age of 18, have parents who do not have stable income. Essentially, it can be swept under the rug. In Palmdale, it's 36%. In LA County, I wanted to share, the average is 31%. So we're actually performing below the county average. All right. So the next piece I wanted to share is housing data. In housing data, this kind of shifts the conversation just a little bit in which we're going to housing insecurity. But 31% of AV renters face severe rent burden. And that means more than half of their income is going towards rent, right? It's very, very difficult to pay for all the other basic needs that you might have. You know, your child's education, you know, what you're going to eat that day, and, you know, your clothes, your utilities. This is just rent. And so we can see how that creates a significant financial burden on almost a third of our residents, of our renters. And then the next piece that I want to share is our median rent in Palmdale. So I wanted to give kind of like a small little 3-year, you know, timeline. In Palmdale, in 2021, the median rent that ACS recorded was $1,658. Now, in 2024, the 2024 data released that it's 1,869 in 2024. So that's going up about 12%, 13%. Median rent, and so again, these aren't averages. This is the most commonly reached number. In Lancaster, it's 1,524 in 2021, you know, and then 3 years later in 2024, it's $1,931. So rents went up within that 3-year span in Lancaster, 26.7%. I'm sorry?
There's no rent control on it?
Nope. I don't think it's as prevalent as it is in more dense urban areas. Mm-hmm.
That's not what we need to work. The policy.
We have a policy committee flag. There you go. All right, but yeah, that's very alarming news, right? I think we have no reason to believe that that's going to halt anytime soon, unfortunately. But that's rent. When it comes into property prices, maybe you want to become, you know, you want to become a homeowner. The median prices of property in the AV, and this includes townhomes, this includes, you know, single family units, this includes all property types for residential. It's $517,000 to own a home, and that's the price of the actual home. That doesn't include what it would cost with a mortgage, any sort of insurance that comes with it, any sort of taxes. 3 years ago, those median property prices were at $458,000. So as we see, it's not getting any better in terms of home ownership either. So the last piece that I wanted to share in regards to housing is that in SPA 1, so Antelope Valley and its surrounding areas within northern LA County, 4,598 people were experiencing homelessness in 2025. You know, the LAHSA, the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, you know, the authority who manages the unhoused count, they estimate that 10% of the unhoused population is under 18 years old. So that means that by LAHSA's estimates, 10% of the homeless population within the Antelope Valley are children. Last thing to close off, I wanted to share a little graph with you guys, or a little map that shows you guys like the discrepancies in rent within the Antelope Valley. So as you can see with our, you know, this is in tune with our estimates. So right here in these areas in the east, this is where property values are a little bit lower. And this is where areas have higher economic vulnerability that we've noticed when we sparse the data. Right here, you see this is the cutoff. This is the west side of the Antelope Valley. This is where a lot of the average is pulled higher. So when you look at median income, it's around $80,000 in the Antelope Valley. And a lot of that is being, you know, spearheaded by individuals who live within this area. However, that's not to say that they're not facing challenges themselves, those that reside within this area, because 73% of the households within, you know, the West region are rent burden. So I shared previously that, you know, there's about 30-something% of our Antelope Valley renters that are severely rent burdened, meaning more than half of their income goes to rent. in this area, around 73% of these households are rent burdened, and that 30% of their income goes to rent or more. So it's not like, we're not all facing challenges there. But yeah, so that's our quick little data snap story. If you guys, want to see this, I saw some pictures. We're gonna share it with you guys after the meeting. So make sure you sign it. That's the email. Yes. So we just shared the story of poverty and poverty alleviation and housing insecurity within the Antelope Valley. So we're right now, our staff are going to be sharing with you guys just one single prompt, just to see what you guys thought. Is there any sort of stat that made you think of anything? Did it relate to any story that you've had with anybody that that's in your family or that you've worked with, any sort of friends, coworkers? Share with us what you think. What did this resonate with?
Yeah.
Those who might find the text maybe a little bit small to read, the prompt reads, "What did you hear regarding Best Start AV's new focus, poverty alleviation and housing insecurity?"
And once you guys are done, go ahead and just hold on to it. Gloria and myself will be handing out raffle tickets. So we'll be doing a raffle at the end, and once we collect your paper, we'll go ahead and hand it.
We'll give you a few minutes to fill those out for us, and we're gonna kind of collect them. So take the next few minutes to fill those out. Come around and collect those. Completed them, just pass them down to the end of the table. We're gonna come and pick those up. Thank you so much. Down here. Yeah, just pass them down to the end of the table for me. Oh, those people. Ready for that? You filled them out. Like a wig. I just, I kind of, oh, what is that? We need input. We need that. Input. Who's the people that are youth engagement and education participants? So I'm going to have either Gloria or someone from the putting together those educational things come and give us an update on your committee. I was making sure. Putting those tickets in there. Right.
Okay. Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Gloria Vargas. You guys hear me?
Yes.
Our community outreach lead. So within our community project, we actually launched a trained community members in childcare, navigating childcare. So we're happy to announce that we successfully already trained 13 community childcare navigators out here. We have some person, if you guys could please stand up because they did awesome by participating and actually engaging. Please, a round of applause to them. Also, my Spanish speaking ones, I'm proud. Thank you. By doing so, we're building awareness. Health. Oh, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Those are my Spanish speaking ones. And so by doing so, we're building awareness in childcare options and cost requirements and enrollment. And with doing so as well, we're strengthening community by knowledge and resource access. I had right now one of my educators who shared a story that by sharing this information with a friend, that she was very thankful that she was able to share this information because now she's actually going into looking into chapter centers. So that's very great to hear because that's what we're here to do, to build that awareness and to have more community be upfront with, have more community be aware of the resources we have out here. Okay, and through all this too, we also collaborate, and we're gonna have our first info session, which is gonna be one of our educators sharing this information about navigating childcare. Tomorrow we'll have more information about it towards the end of our presentation. If you guys are want to hear more about the enrollment cost that you want to share with others, please, I encourage you guys to join one of our educators that's going to have this info session. So that has been within our community change agenda on the childcare navigators in AV. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Veronica, and they have been working hard. Next, we have our pilot programs and capacity building. Wow. So I have one of our community members, Miss Denise, you can stand or raise your hand. She's been helping us. So we're component of this. Oh, Mr. Davis. Anyway, great experience. We're working on the business capacity building curriculum. So as the educators are knowing, have learned one aspect, we are putting together the business component. If someone in the community wants to say, hey, I want to open up a home daycare, or I want to open up my own child care center, where do I start? What do I need to do? Well, we've been putting together a curriculum where right now we have finished up our daily activities, how to set up your space, contracts and policies, and marketing their program. So we're going to be rolling this portion out to the educators in January. It's been a long haul, but I really appreciate those who have been, and my other facilitators who have been putting this together. They own businesses. They own their own child home daycare. They own their own child care centers. So they're at work right now. They can't come. But this is what's been happening in the interim. So when this is rolled out, our educators will be equipped to help other people go out and say, hey, you want to open up your own child care center? Let me tell you, these are the steps you need to do. Or you want to open up your home daycare? Here, let me show you what to do from beginning to end. So we've been working hard, and I really appreciate my facilitators, those who have been collaborating and putting this information together. Give them a round of applause. This is working hard, y'all. I'm going to have David come for the data.
All right, thank you so much, Darrell. I'm gonna make this one a little bit quick because this has been an ongoing project as opposed to a ton of the active work that our ladies have been doing with Darrell and Gloria. But our child care provider needs assessment. This is still live. So I highly recommend. There was a ton of work that was put into this. We have Denise right here and we have Laura over there. These two were very instrumental in getting this off the ground.
Yeah.
So this is a needs assessment survey. Just to remind you all who maybe aren't familiar with it or haven't had the chance to see it or haven't heard of it yet, the Child Care Provider Needs Assessment Survey is an assessment in which we are surveying our child care providers, not those who are receiving child care, not the parents. We're surveying the providers themselves in terms of their experiences, in terms of what support they need and what they think would be great strategies in terms of advocacy. So that needs assessment survey is currently live. This is our postcard that is going to be sent out, as well as the second stage of our outreach plan. But please, if you know any child care provider that might be interested in sharing their story, that maybe wanting to share their insight into advocacy, then please feel free to share that QR code. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. As you, sir?
Especially for those that wanted to do it as a business. We're looking to make business case for why this is a viable business. We need this data to show what it is you guys need and why you need grants and why you need support. And we show this to people that want to fund you. So this is a really important survey that's really going to benefit everybody. Thank you guys.
Yeah, Absolutely, absolutely. And we're learning, it's a great learning spot too. If you ever want to get involved with the data collecting and processing. This is great learning tools that we need here in the Antelope Valley. All right, next we have our policy advocacy.
So I'm gonna invite my amazing policy group up here. If not, then just Cynthia. Oh, or whoever would like to come to the policy. Oh. Hi everyone. I'm Cynthia Sanchez, and I'm part of the policy advocacy committee. So we were able to have 10 workshops that we facilitated the policy committee themselves. We also were able to have a total of 25 parents that completed the workshop. So give it a clap. So I was able to be here to present on advocating for special needs, and it was a great workshop. We enjoyed it. Our parents enjoyed it. They were very engaged. They had a lot of questions. They were able to, learn about why it's important to advocate for their children, how to advocate for their children. And so this was just the beginning. We're hoping to be able to give them more tools, be able to meet with legislators, and be able to give them the confidence they need to be able to legislators because now they know about advocacy, why advocacy is important, but they also have to build that confidence so when they sit down, they know exactly what to say and how to say it. So it was a great experience and thank you so much. And anyone you guys want to share from your experience? Is it your opinion? Okay. Okay.
I think one of the things that we enjoyed during these workshops, it provided an open space to have that conversation with their community parents. We want to make sure that we provide awareness, but not only that, we provide that open space so that we can have a conversation as to what are the issues here in the Antelope Valley and what can we do as parents.
And I just want to add that it was good to be able to show the parents because a lot of parents don't understand their rights as far as advocating for their children. And I got to start it off by teaching parents about advocacy, what advocacy means, and what it means to them in early childhood education, and how they can actually go and advocate for their child. And a lot of us didn't know that. And even a lot of the parents in the session there were things that they were unaware of. So I think it's really important that if that is something you want to do, you can always check out the policy committee because we do a lot of advocating for our community and we've got a lot of projects going in this next year. So if something like that is important to you and you want to see a change in this Antelope Valley, join us on the policy committee and help advocate for this area.
Thank you, ladies. Just one more round of applause. Okay. Sandy, Cynthia, thank you so much. So you got to hear a little bit about those who did the workshop. There are a couple people in here that actually were the ones participating in the workshop. So I'm gonna ask him to just share a little bit about her experience of attending this workshop.
Hi, good morning, everyone. So yeah, I did get a chance to join this workshop, and honestly, it opened a lot of doors for me. I think one of my biggest reasons I came to this workshop was also focused on. He's only 2 now, but he's gonna enter the school system, and I'm so focused on he needs to go to good school. We need to move out of the AV. I need to get him into a better school, and I'm like, wait, why don't I start here? Yeah. Why don't I start with showing up and learning about the resources that are available to me? So joining the advocacy workshop really did show me all the different tools and resources that I had no idea were available to me, starting with Best Start they provide and also how to navigate school district when the time is needed. It just opened up a lot of doors for me and questions that I didn't realize I had and how to go about pushing for change in my community. I didn't know where to start, and this is a good step stepping stone to enter that, realm. And I really look forward to, continuing my know-how on how to navigate to the school district and all that. So yeah, there you go.
Thanks, Christine. Unfortunately, I did have a lot of time. I was going to share, because there was an English and Spanish session. Unfortunately, she had to leave a little bit early. But again, this is what the policy advocacy community change agenda was working on for the past 6 months. And I'm so happy to share with you all that, we were able to achieve educating 25 parents on advocacy, as well as, having the community really present to these parents of how important advocacy is. So thank you, ladies, again. So now another amazing community change agenda project that we're working on were the stakeholders, if you remember, stakeholder engagement, and we're talking about the resource hub. Well, I'm here to proudly to announce to you all that we have 3 childcare resource centers now. My apologies. So again, what these hubs are going to have are information about childcare. They're not a childcare center, but they are going to have information for families that they service or any families that are going in and out of their facility to really understand about childcare costs, the enrollment process, and all that stuff that sometimes isn't as easy to get that information. Calling CCRC or having to look up at their website. So we're hoping that doing this again is spreading the resources and awareness of childcare and the importance of early education. So we have SLEA therapies, Youth with a Purpose, and then Ohana Center. So again, these are the 3 childcare resource hubs that we have right now. That was mentioned earlier. Well, I'll get to it, but SLEA has hosted a professional development training already for childcare providers. Their training was really focused on early intervention services. So what can you do before referring a child out as a childcare provider? Now they're going to be hosting that informational session tomorrow that Gloria mentioned. And that again is a childcare educator is going to present to the community. So if you guys are interested or know somebody that wants to know more about childcare, I highly, highly suggest you guys have them attend this informational session. And let's say they're not available to attend tomorrow, no worries. Youth with a Purpose, we're hoping coming January 2026, we do another professional development workshop for childcare providers. It's going to be a different topic, of course, but another informational session. As you guys saw, SLEA Therapies is in Palmdale. So we want to make sure that parents, families, and Lancaster are also getting those resources. So Youth with Purpose, we're planning right now for January 2026. So be on the lookout. And then Ohana Center would be hosting one March 2026. So again, just stay on the lookout for that. For more information of the time and the date, they'll be hosting another professional development workshop as well as another informational session for parents. So let's give a round of applause for everybody. Oh, I'm going to have to go.
So now we're going to hear from our Best Start committees, beginning with our Welcome Committee. Come on, Miss Gloria. And I want to say, first of all, my hats off to the Welcome Committee. They have been doing an awesome job. They're awesome, ladies. I'm turning this over to you, Gloria.
Thank you. Yes, like Darrell said, we're small but mighty.
Yeah.
I encourage you guys to please join us. I just want to share a little bit what we've done. Thank you. So what we've done, as you can see in the picture so far, we have supported community engagement by distributing mass mailing of information and resource to our all registered community. And by doing so, we enhance and give the community an opportunity to find out about the resources, events. I know sometimes it can get a little bit busy with checking so much your emails, but we also want to make sure and extend that we also do old school way, deliver also the resource and and make sure that you have it on hand. And as you can see also, we also are committed to actively encourage others to join and how, like I mentioned, by this, we represent families and providers we serve. Once again, we are here to encourage and build awareness in our community. And by doing so, we want to go ahead and collaborate more with more, I'm sorry, I've just got but with our community to make sure that we do have connection with them and that we are building connection and community. So far that's what we've done. And as you can see, we also distribute, they came and helped to get everything organized for this event. Like I said, we're small but mighty. Thank you, Tess. And I know Norma left early, but I do encourage, please, my welcome committee, we're urging everyone to come and join us. We have a lot coming up this year that hopefully we can move a lot more. We have a lot more. Thank you.
Gloria, we are so back, but never so brief. The data committee. So everything that we've done in terms of data analysis, if there's any data that goes through VestStart that is that doesn't have any sort of personal identifiers attached to it, it goes through the data committee. So I think that it would be great if we had more hands on deck for our next project, which is going to be the resource mapping project. In this one, we're going to be going over all the various resources that are relevant to children 0 to 5 and their families. So that is going to be our next meeting. That's going to be on January 27th at 11 a.m. on Zoom, if you are able to make it. We're also going to be going over the full analysis of the previously mentioned child care provider needs assessment as well. So by all means, please join us. We're going to be, starting the year off strong with this one, so that, by as soon as even March, we'll be able to have a serviceable draft of the resource mapping available for our child care center, or not our child care center, our early learning resource hub. Yeah, right. No, not that one. Child care resource hubs. We're gonna have child care resource hubs. All right. But yeah, thank you guys.
Hey again, hi. So the policy committee, as you heard, we just finished. We just wrapped up the facilitation, developing that the advocacy workshop. We are set to meet every second and fourth Monday of each month, starting January 2026. So yeah, we finally have set date, everyone. So, I want to invite all of you guys to attend. The policy committee again. David was introducing the data, and we saw that story, and we're like, well, what about the rent control here in the AB? That's something that we could bring up to these local legislators if they're not aware or educated on these topics. So another if you join the policy committee, we go to different conferences. We are going to attend the CCRC policy conference in January 21st to 22nd. And then also Advocacy Day, we plan to go with other VestStart regions. We're number 5 out of 5. So there's 4 more that we hope to join for Advocacy Days and Advocacy Day. So again, these are kind of like the perks of joining the policy committee. When we have conference or when there's stuff that we're able to go out, we want to bring you guys, the community, the partnership, the policy committee to attend these events and get familiar more about policy and advocacy. So go ahead, scan the QR code, just scroll down to join a committee, and then you'll pick your selected committee. You can join as many as you want. If you have trouble, please connect with me. I'm going to be here, as well as Lizette. Lizette can help you register for a committee as well. But if you guys don't have any questions, I'll go ahead and give it back to Red.
I hope you are being inspired to be a part of one of these committees and add your voice, your talents, your treasures, your skills. We can use them. Next, we have coming up our sustainability committee with Miss Carla. Show her some love, y'all. Thank you.
Okay. Can we show some love to our amazing All for Kids team, because all of this work is possible because of them as well. It's so hard to stand there and and not be in the front, because you guys, I get so inspired. I always want to share and just talk about how amazing the work is, and I only get to be stuck in meetings now, so that's not fun. But I can tell you that we're pushing hard. We continue to advocate as well as All for Kids on behalf of the Best Start community, to remind First 5LA why the investment here is needed and how we're putting the money to good use, right? So it's really important, as everyone is sharing, as Stephanie has reviewed time and time again, this new strategic plan called for realignment. Lots of it, and it has been a lot of hard work. That sometimes I'm like, bear with me, guys. We're gonna get through this. And so being able to have the community support has just been amazing. And for Stephanie, for example, as you see, there's a lot of work that's being done. So when she knows that she can count on her policy committee to get up here to present, to support her in the curriculum design and the facilitation, to see the parents come and take part in these workshops, but then go, hey, you know what? I want to be a part of the parent advisory board. Like, that is where we need to get to, and that's where we are right now. So I can't thank my staff enough. I can't thank the community enough to see this work just come to life. So thank you all. Thank you to every single one of you. Even Carmen, because we forget about Carmen, but you know what she said. To our interpreters as well, it has been an amazing push for this work, and we want to continue showing First 5LA that we need this investment here in the AV. So why am I bringing this up? Because the sustainability committee is like the ones who are going to be heading a big piece of this work. So in this realignment, we do have to reprioritize what of our CCA projects do we continue into the next year, if any? Can we tap into our early learning resource hubs? Can we get funding for them to continue some of this work? What of that work can they do? So this has to be a bigger conversation that we want to ensure we involve all of you, that we involve the parent advisory committee, and that will be led by the sustainability committee. So far we have had our 2 meetings. We are set to meet in January, but we dropped the ball and forgot to put a date for our January meeting. So we're working on that. But for the most part, I did also see a couple of interest forms be filled out for the sustainability committee. I have not gotten back out to those who showed interest in wanting to participate. You guys, because I just been really busy, I'm so sorry. But I will send out that email once we have the January date, so you can join us in this January meeting. What we will be hearing is how are we going to engage you, the partnership, in this plan, in this effort of reprioritizing what we want to continue funding for the next fiscal year and up until 2029, as First 5LA has asked. So that's what the sustainability committee is doing. We're a pretty cool group. You can join us by scanning this QR code, and we will send you some info for our January meeting. Okay, I think the next one's yeah. Okay, the next one's mine. So I am going to ask our newly put together parent advisory board to stand up. Ms. Denise Sanchez, Ms. Jessica, Ms. Stephanie, Ms. Karen, Ms. Kimberly, Ms. Josephine. Somebody here is not here with us today because she is one powerful woman and she is expecting, so she couldn't make it today. Any day now, so we're not gonna risk it. But I think the level of commitment, you know, being a pregnant mom and showing up and saying, hey, I want to make sure that I am that voice. It speaks volumes of the commitment that we have and that parents are showing here at Best Start. So a round of applause. We're gonna push on for her as well. So we're hoping that she's able to join us back in February. If for any reason she's unable to, we do have a 6th member on this parent advisory board, which originally was 5, but we did, you know, just to be safe, we don't want to risk it. But essentially, these are the parent voice. They are the parent voice of children 0 to 5 in our community. We want to ensure that as we continue forward in the work of Best Start, that we have the input from parents 0 to 5 to be able to tell us, like, yes, this makes sense for me, a parent 0 to 5. or no, we're missing the ball here. What can we do to ensure that the work that this community is doing is really catering to the families of 0 to 5, especially because that is one of the things that First 5LA also wants to see, right? That the funding is being used to support our families prenatal to 5. Oh, sorry, you had a question. Any questions? Thank you, Parent Advisory Board. You guys may sit down. Any questions? Did I do 5 minutes? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Our learning opportunities, I love these because we get to bring to our community, to you all, opportunities to gain knowledge, understanding of things that we can implement to help perpetuate a healthy community for children 0 to 5. So coming up, our next learning opportunity, finding the right childcare parent information session. So you can scan that QR code. That will be on December the 12th. That's this Friday. Man, the weeks are going by fast. Is anybody else having whiplash because time is going so fast? Is it me or what? I'm like, wait, what's that? So that's tomorrow at 11 a.m. You can scan that QR code if you are interested in participating. And it is a free childcare information workshop where parents will learn about childcare costs, enrollment processes, what do you need to do, how to find the right program for you. So,
Does it conflict with the SLE meeting? SLE therapies meeting is also tomorrow?
that's the one. It's the same one.
Is that in person?
Huh?
Is that in person?
Yes, it will be at FLEA Therapies. Their address is 190 Sierra Court, room A. A is an apple, 8 as in the figure. Anyway, I digress. Okay, next. I'm so excited, Miss Cox. Her class is coming up, Nurturing Relationships. So this one will come on January the 8th, and it's going to cover the joy jars and gratitude hearts. So coming together, just learning how to have relationships with your young ones, families, experience, how to be creative and just connecting through play. And that's important. But Catty, raise your hand. Raise your hand. She's so shy. But that's Miss Catty. She's going to be doing that, and that will be here at our All for Kids Resource Center. You can scan the QR code if you are interested in participating. Next are our community announcements. What's going on? Okay, I think everybody needs to know, where are the food banks? So this is our food pantries of the Antelope Valley. And know this, we can send this information out to you. But these are all of our current food banks, the days that they give out produce and food, where they give them out. We wanted to, after this last episode, everyone needed to know, where are the food banks? So we need to keep that going. We never know now. Yeah.
The SAVES program, I'm a beneficiary of the SAVES, but I just want everybody to know that you actually have to apply for it. You have to, there's application, you have to show proof of income, there's a lot of represent.
That's for that. Which one is that called? For SAVE. But there are other ones you don't have to fill out an application for. So that's why we listed all of them. For the one at All for Kids, our CFR food distribution, you don't have to register, you just have to come. And it is for our produce distribution. How many have ever come to our produce distribution? Have you seen the carrots? They're on Bugs Bunny on steroids. I'm like, oh my gosh, the carrots are huge. Yeah, you can have a whole meal on one carrot. But anyway, I'm serious, man. So our next one will be December the 17th. December the 17th. So that information is available. All right, here we are. Scan our QR code. You can be a part of us. Know what we're doing on our Linktree. We're on Facebook. We're Instagram. Stay connected with Best Start. Things are always happening. We share information as well. This is community. So if you have community information, maybe it's something we missed, you can share it. Let us know. Your voice is important. It's imperative that you stay connected. And this is the platform. So with that being said, we are now ready for our wrap. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, you will. Important that you sign in, because when you sign in, we get your stuff so that we can send you the presentation and the recording. Also, I would really appreciate your feedback in terms of food. We've had a lot of events over the last 6 months, and we've been struggling to like, what else? What else can we order? What else do you guys want to see here at these events? So we would appreciate your feedback. If you know of any mom and pop shops that you do area as well, we would love those recommendations. Survey is an opportunity to let us know. Yeah, so we do have little thank you gifts as well in the spirit of the holiday season. So Daddy and Gloria will be passing them out. These are for the moments that this will help to stay in the news of all the amazing events that are happening here at Best Start. Everybody get the raffle to get ready. What are we raffling today? You guys, I want to hunt for gift cards today. We have 5 $100 gift cards to. There's a list. There's a list of the different places we can go. All right. Is everyone ready? Yes. Is everyone ready? Yes. I don't think you guys are ready. All right, here we go. Get your it is 207. Sorry, the last 3 numbers. Oh, are 207. It was more than that. 7. Those are you guys, are we accidentally going to strip up tickets that hadn't been passed out? Happen again. Okay, here we go. Next one, the 3 numbers are, the last 3 numbers are 213. The last numbers are 20. Right. Last numbers are 1, 7, 1, 8. That's 2, all right. The last numbers are 2. Okay. 1, 2. Over here, over here. That didn't get passed out and now we went in. I'm Last one, this one. Wait. Have this one.
Yeah, okay.
It was funny that time because of the not. It's okay. And while we're starting to take a few moments,
Set out for us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
can I get a round? Closing word from one of our longest standing members, Mr. Best, from the closes out with a few words.
Start,
for your two. Maybe coming. Whether you're born, your ex, your success, your progress, you are from, and to, despite whatever language, ASL, English, Spanish, we can effectively use and develop and become better. 2025 behind us, let's look at an exciting 2026. So, for this more recent collaboration with India. We have the backdrops for pictures. I actually have a little. Starting with something that I promised.